Nestled within the heart of the Colne Valley, just on the outer perimeter of the M25, is arguably one of the most iconic and famous lakes in the country, RK Leisure's Wraysbury North Lake. Home to the once British Record Carp, Mary, over the years the lake has been walked and angled by some of the best and has been home to some of the most incredible carp. After years of waiting for the right time, this spring has seen my chance finally arrive. My own bit of fishing heaven.
It also means you can finally return that guest trip you've owed me. Let's get into it. This is Spooner and Dovey.
Dovey and Spooner versus Wraysbury. The planes just look like they're going to fall out of the sky at that height, don't they? We're in a little bit of a quandary now. I've had a little walk around and we're trying to find two swims next to each other because the big idiot is turning up in about 2 hours.
Lou, it doesn't look like you're holding that camera very straight. Lou, that's gonna make people feel sick watching this.
And there isn't really two good swims next to each other. We're currently standing in a swim called the Runway, which is next door to a swim called the Styles, which is the swim to be in. The guy's packing up, but there's already a bucket in there, so we can't go in there. I fished here last week and I fished a swim called the In-Between, which is pretty much opposite where we are now, but fishing a very different part of the lake. And that is a swim on its own as well. But we do need to fish next to each other, so I'm going to carry on walking round to see if there's anyone that's leaving next to a swim that's open. So me and Spooner can fish next to each other, can have a bit of a social over the next few days, and both stand a chance of actually catching a carp. One thing we are going to have to contend with while we're here though is the planes. We're like 5 minutes away from Heathrow Airport, so the sound is going to be relatively difficult, but the lake's so good, we're willing to take the risk with it. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to carry on walking around, see if we can find a couple of swimmers next to each other. After a bit of loitering, I decided on the diving board swim and I was shoving Spooner next door in the dugout. It was actually the only area I'd seen fish show, and annoyingly they were slightly closer to where Spooner would be going. So if he didn't catch, he was a complete helmet and should quit. Despite it being in the teeth of a cold wind, the spots were around 17 feet deep. A little deeper than I'd have wanted this time of year, but I was sure we could make the most of it. Are you right then, the eel? Right, I've done it again, right? I've put 2 yellow hook baits on, when I should just put 3 on.
Yeah, and you've put...
But I'm good, I've put a pink on as well.
Yeah.
Pink always works on the underwater films. I never catch anything on pink.
Yeah.
So we're going to put a yellow next to a pink and see what one works.
So when the yellow goes,
I'll change the yellow, the pink to a yellow. It's ridiculous. I don't know why I do it.
I think it's fair to say that my spring has been fishing a mixture of venues. I was on Brasenose 1 last week. I was on Fryan in the week before, a little syndicate, quite a big syndicate, and now I'm on bloody Wraysbury. First time I've ever seen the place. Got to say I'm very, very excited though, especially as I've already seen one in front of me. I'm not quite sure why Dovey's given me this swim. Got here earlier than me, obviously gave him dibs of swims. He's got into 2 side by side that he's seen activity, all of which has been in front of this swim. But I walked into the swim, having never seen it before, stood talking to another member, and one showed exactly where Dovey said he'd seen him this morning.
Am I who I think I am? Am I the person that can do this? Or am I the person that just cannot do it and just talks about it? Or am I the man that I want to be? Can I get it in this arch first time? It's a big, big, big question. I am who I think I am. And I hate to say it, but every one of them spots was on the money as well. What about you, Spoons?
Well, I think that man is a bit of an idiot, but regarding the fishing, I wasn't so on fire, but I did eventually get them out on the dance floor at 29 wraps between 2 weed beds.
You know, you can't ever say to me, I don't give you anything now, or I don't take you anywhere.
first time.
You had a go
though.
at me last time that I'd never taken to my syndicate.
No, you're right. No.
There you go.
Well, if it comes around every 17 years, I'll be laughing, wouldn't I?
Yeah, we'll do it again when we're 50 odd, shall we?
What's your target?
Oh, because you want to
Yeah.
catch it? Okay. My target is a fish called, I don't know what it's called, the Long Sutton or the Sutton?
Long Sutton's in it.
Long Sutton.
Yeah.
Big, long, black
Mega
thing,
carp.
I actually haven't spent too much time looking at the carp in here because I actually like just catching them and thinking, oh, what's that?
Yeah,
Bit of
nice.
surprise. But that one I've seen pictures of and it's beautiful. So if you catch that one, never again a guest.
Can you ID that one for me later? When...
Yeah, that one or I think there's 3 50-pounders in here, 25 40s. So you can't not targeting any of them, you're just catching whatever.
you're just trying to get bites, aren't you?
Yeah.
Any good? I guess the question is, pink or yellow?
What do you reckon?
I reckon it's yellow.
It's yellow. Well, just 3 foot to the right. To be fair, it might have been in slight. Oh, no, it's not shallow water, but of course it's the yellow one.
Of course it's yellow. Sound like it absolutely busted off.
Yeah, it did, yeah. This is a really good sign, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is a really, really, really good sign, actually. It doesn't feel very big, though, you know.
It's done nothing, has it?
No, it's been a bit. It's a bit weird. It's like it's an 8-pound carp. That's what it feels like. Have you seen how big this is? I didn't know there was fish this small in here. I said to him while I was playing it, it feels like a really small carp. Hey, I tell you what, great start though.
Heck of a start.
Heck of a start. That's a very good sign. I put a little bit of bait out as well, so.
Well done, Thomas.
With my little carp resting in the net, I decided to reset the rod before getting it out to have a look. Fresh pop-up on, rod wrapped up, the rod went back out first time. And with Spooner being my guest, it was only fair that he put the kettle back on.
Makes it easier to say once you've had one, but even if you hadn't, I'd still be looking out there thinking, he's getting them.
I've just right fancied it.
Yeah. That's a nice thing.
The power of the pineapple pop-up.
Yep.
Are you confident with yours now, or now it's only taking you 9 hours to get them out?
Yeah, I'm now, yeah. They're out there, aren't they?
Yeah?
Yeah. It did take a long time to find an area. There's a lot of weed out there.
That's why them fish are living there though.
Yeah, exactly.
When I was there last week, I was down the right hand side, not the left. 2/3 of the way down, I can actually see.
Oh, you can see across that.
Up past this island and in here, and they were just showing in this triangle of islands constantly.
Yeah, that's why. But I think I found there's a gully in between 2 weed beds, so it took me so long to find it. I've got about a rod length and a half between 2 weed beds.
Okay. I'll take down the wraps later for me notes. So
Yeah.
I don't have to do that next time.
Yeah, great idea.
With Spooner's horrendous tee polished off, it was time for the cameraman to get that macro lens on. It doesn't feel like there's one in there. It doesn't matter how big they are when they look like that. And isn't that true? That's a lovely looking fish. He's probably one of the smallest fish in the lake, but it is a great start. Our team target this week is 35 pounds. And I know that might sound big, but there are a lot of big carp in here. This isn't one of them, but it is a good start.
Me and Dovey don't, contrary to popular belief, if it's a filming trip, then we fish together a lot, but actually to come to one of his syndicates is a rarity. Well, in fact, it's the first time he's ever brought me anywhere, to be fair. I wouldn't say it's rare, it's non-existent. What is lovely to see is the excitement. We've done a hell of a lot of fishing over the years on a multitude of different venues, but when you get to your, if you like, your bread and butter fishing, and you know that any bite from here especially could be something very, very special, it makes the whole atmosphere so electric. I've just run down, I was sitting down with Dovey, I'm only 15 yards away, and it wasn't a carp, but I'm fishing quite tight clutches, so flurry of bleep, something's on the end, and it's a decent tench. But it doesn't matter, it's that excitement. When that alarm goes, you don't know what may have picked up your hook bait. I mean, Dovey's got so excited he's been striking liners up there, 2 on the spin. The tip was doing that. I think your eyes were doing that. I don't know about the tip. I think so. I've never seen him do that before. He's normally the cool, calm, collected one. But here, he's turned into a nervous wreck. It's great to see. Dovey losing his head. Not just his hair, actually losing his head.
The day passed with only liners, which I didn't strike at. I was redoing the rods for the night ahead, I promise. Oh. Oh my God, that was such a good drop, that. Spoon is saying that's the one. That is the one, that's on exactly the right line. There's been a lot of fish showing beyond me today. And when I had that bite, I saw 3 or 4 fish fizzing just beyond me, then I had a bite. I had the same thing happen slightly later on in the afternoon, evening, and I didn't get one. So I feel like that might have been a little bit of a chance missed, but the rods have gone out absolutely perfectly. I'm going to put a little bit more bait out. And then there's some decent anticipation going into the evening, so I just really feel like something ridiculous is going to happen. We're at the end of April. Big fish are coming out all over the country. The full moon is in 2 days, and this is the best time leading up towards it. There are 25 fish in here over 40 pounds. And we're going to catch one of them between us, I'm sure.
And wouldn't it be special if I caught it?
Just been awoken by alarm going into absolute meltdown. A few bleeps to start with, and just as I was getting my Crocs on, yeah, I wear Crocs, and what? It went into absolute meltdown. That first bite is always super exciting. Still quite a long way out, you know. It would be lovely to think it's team target size, but in all honesty, I just want it in the net. Team target size, I don't really care how big it is. You just want to land your first one. Be lovely though. Dovey's biggest out of here so far is, I think, 32 pound. He's only done one up the trip. Be lovely to get one bigger than that. Come on, come on. See it twisting and turning in this clear water. Whilst it's lovely to see, I want nothing more than it just to pop up and get in the net. Like that. Yes! Yes! When that fish was first stripping line, I honestly didn't think I was going to get it back. It took so much. I haven't even looked at it. I don't care. We've got one.
It was a very decent fish. Decent enough to wake Dovey up and get him to lift the thing for the scales. Now remember, his biggest from here is 32 pounds. Just keep that in mind.
This is nice, Thomas.
Isn't it? A little nice surprise in the middle of the night. Of course, she's big one.
That is saying 35 pound 8 ounces.
Yes, we're going to have to move the old team target, gal.
We're going to have to put her up.
Well done. Well, that was easy, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, boy, gee.
What of Argulus on her? Well, what do you want to say about that, Dovey?
That is a beautiful carp, mate, isn't it? A brand new penny, 35.5 pounds.
Absolute cracker.
Yeah, I'll bring you to all the good places.
You do, yeah. My first guestie on one of Dovey's lakes, and I've caught one bigger than he has. What a day.
I think we've got one close to that big, yeah. What should we do about the team target? Shall I try and break it as well, and then we'll move her?
That's a good idea.
Yeah?
Yeah, we might be here a while, but we'll do that. Regardless of team target, it's nice that we're, you know, not even halfway through our trip and we've both caught one, and mine is substantially bigger than Dovey's.
If this continues, I won't be inviting him for a guestie ever again. Well done, Boychie. With morning breaking, I didn't particularly have the best night. I don't really know what's going on, to be honest. It was another 8-pounder, which even combined with the other one, wasn't halfway to me beating the team target.
Decent start. It is a decent start, but I didn't want to catch 2 8-pounders.
Just part of it, isn't it?
What?
Can't pick which one picked your bait up.
No, I don't care. I do care. No, I don't care.
No, you do.
I like getting the bites.
Yeah.
I feel like I've done it right when you get a bite.
Yeah.
You can't pick one and picks it up, can you?
Exactly, and when you're getting bites, you feel more in control of the bait going in. You spot itself.
Mm.
You know not exactly, but you've got a very good idea of what's going on out there.
Mm. A part of me feels like we should be catching more, but almost nothing's coming out in the lake, and I think I feel like that because it's late on in April, but it's freezing.
It's not April weather.
It's freezing, so I feel like we've got an excuse. But we've caught 3, haven't we? So it's like unreal. I feel like we're going to get another 1 or 2 in a day today, and then the same again tonight. 6, 7 bites between us, 1 big one, real big one. I know yours was a bigger one.
What? Big 30? Maybe
no,
40
pounder.
40 pounder.
Dovey was certainly confident for someone with 2 8-pounders under his belt, but that night was our final night, and despite being buzzed to have had a 35-pounder, I would not have said no to a 40 to finish up. And maybe I'd have been okay with Dovey catching it too.
Sat here feeling like I'm wrapped up for winter. My gut says, from a fishing point of view, we are still seeing the very odd show out in that middle zone. And it kind of feels like if I'm going to get another chance, it's going to be through the hours of darkness. So I'm just going to leave the rod sat fishing all day. I'll redo them an hour or so before dark, maybe a couple of hours before dark, so they're all set lovely, fresh hook baits, bit of fresh bait over the top, and sort of press repeat really. The lake's very busy. There are options if we wanted to move swims, but we're seeing nothing anywhere. I think the fact we're seeing the odd fish show in this area anyway means that we are still on some, but that's the plan. Essentially do nothing until later, drink lots of tea, eat more of Dovey's biscuits.
Well, those biscuits were coming with me, Boychie. As the day drew on, I was getting no indication there were fish anywhere near me, so I had to wander around the other side to a swim I'd caught 2 from the week previous and immediately saw 1 jump. It was warmer over there, I had the spots already saved in my phone, plus I'd finally have all the biscuits to myself. I just can't see myself getting a couple of bites and it being 2 big ones. Just can't see it, so I'm going with my gut. I'll give you a bell in a bit. Can you pick that thing up? Pink thing.
That pink thing was your brain, mate. Them 2 8-pounders had him shook.
There's a bird right on the end of the island out there, and that's where they were showing last time I was here and I was catching them. It slightly further down the island, and that's where I saw one show earlier when I walked round. I feel like it's a bit of a fresh start up here, I fancy it. I haven't got long though, so I'm gonna get this off because I'm warm. Get the rods out quick. This, compared to the other end, is very different because of the depth of water. Got about 10 foot out there, which is more preferable for this time of year. I know it's cold, so we have been catching in deeper water, but the reality is I'd love to be in shallow water, so that's what we've got out here as well. So it's tick for this swim. The rods were clipped up and it was time for some bait. Same as in the previous swim, 1-to-1 corn to isofish ratio, and about 5 spoms of it before casting the rigs out, and a few more after that. Oh, that's it. 3 good drops, further than I was last trip. Saw one in here within 10 minutes earlier. I've seen one jump in the snag we're fishing to within half an hour of being here. Right hand rod and left hand rod went out first time, middle rod took 4 casts. I had 6 casts in total. All of the spods went out lovely. I'm talking it into existence. With the rigs, I didn't need to talk it up, as they are the ones I catch on pretty much everywhere. I have the 50cm heli-safe leaders as I'll be casting long distance, and the long leaders impact the range. A 4.25 ounce distance lead and my trusted spinner rigs. That's 6 inches of 25-pound boom, a size 4 crank on a spinner swivel, and a 12mm pineapple pop-up, which has had about 3 months soaking in pineapple goo. Keep your eyes on the screen because I knew this was going to save my trip.
Well, Dovey has well and truly left the building. I actually think it's a good move. He wasn't feeling that confident in there, not seen anything over his rods, and he's had them absolutely bang on for our best part of 24 hours really, and that little one in the night, that little one yesterday, but nothing has happened at all to give him any confidence moving into the night. So going into the second night, I'd say I'm semi-confident of another chance. The conditions are very similar. There's still fish in the zone, and I think Dovey is going to be sitting the other end feeling exactly the same. He's on spots that he's caught from only last week. Knowing Dovey, they'll have gone out like a dream. He'll be fishing super effectively, and he's probably tucking into a nice bit of steak already. Hopefully, we can both have one tonight.
We only had one cameraman, and strangely he had opted to stay with Spooner. Not sure if that meant they thought I'd blank on the last night or what, but I was absolutely determined to prove them wrong. Would they be waking up full of regret having not filmed a 40-pounder? We'd have to wait and see.
Well, it's been a pretty quiet night here. Before I went to bed, I saw some shows out Long, and I've been up a little while looking, and I've already seen a couple out there as well, still off the back of me, so they're still in the zone.
Nobody cares, Spooner, you blanked last night. I've actually got some news around here, but did I catch the 40? Well, that move was very, very worthwhile. I just had a gut feeling that a lot of big fish are up here, because a guy over in the far corner had a big one a couple of nights ago. I was in here last week, like I'd said, and down there it just didn't feel like it was going to happen. So moving away from knowing that I'm on fish was quite difficult. However, always go with your gut instinct. I've had 2 bites, one at first light, one just after, and one of them's a real big one, exactly what we come to Wraysbury for. The cameraman has had a shocker staying with Spooner last night. I've got 2 fish in the net, the first being a minter, but the second one you absolutely do not want to miss out on. There we go. A beautiful Wraysbury North Lake carp, 27-pound on the nose, absolute beauty. God knows how big that one is in the net because it's a lot bigger than this one. This is what we came here for, not a couple of 8 or 10 pounders. Lovely. It's made me trip. Oh, you beauty, oh, you beauty. And the moment we'd been waiting for, a proper Wraysbury big un. Yes, boys. That's why we come to Wraysbury North. 43 pounds and a couple of ounces, I think, of very hard fighting male mirror carp, I think. An absolute beast. It beasted me all the way around the lake this morning. That is a powerful old carp. My right hand rod, 8 to 10 foot up against the island, yellow pop up, corn and icer fish. Absolute beauty. I am buzzing with that. Great way to start the spring for me. I've got probably 3 or 4, I've probably got 4 or 5 weeks left on here until they spawn, at least I'd say. Hopefully there's more of these to come, but that is going to do me for starters. What a beauty. And team target achieved. Smashed it, in fact. You are a nice old carp. How about that?
Dovey, your phone has gone straight to voicemail again, mate. I know you're obviously doing 4 or 5 nights a week down at Wraysbury now, but I need to speak to you. You said you'd try and help me sort out a ticket. I've heard nothing, so cheers for that. But secondly, no one's seen you. I can only cover for so long. I've got Dan asking questions. I've got Damo asking questions. I'm not going to get in trouble because you're literally living down a lake. When you get this message, you need to call me back. Cheers, mate.
It's a
Liability.